The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. This is what's pretty much been happening in France, and it's been driving thousands onto the streets. But why are the protesters angry?
It's about dignity, it's about, of course, buying power, it's about salaries, but it's also about not pretending to be president of everyone when you actually make measures that benefits to only the riches and not the poor.
Aujourd'hui, très concrètement, il faut savoir que ce mouvement, déjà, il est composé de plusieurs groupes. Hein. Enfin, c'est pas quelque chose c'est pas un groupe hétérogène. C'est pas des gens bien définis. Il est composé de militants des quartiers populaires comme moi. Il est composé de gens qui sont issus des campagnes. Il est composé de gens qui sont issus, voilà, de la classe moyenne, qui en ont aussi marre de payer trop d'impôts parce que les riches n'en payent pas.
Emmanuel Macron has been criticised for turning a blind eye to the protest, which began in mid-November. But as the protests continued, he could no longer ignore the calls. In a controversial announcement, he ended a tax increase on pensioners, ended taxes and charges on overtime, encouraged businesses to give a one-off tax-free end-of-year bonus to staff, increased the minimum monthly wage by €100. So has that been enough?
I'm going to quote to you my own mother. She's a retired person with a very little pension. She just said, "That's all," which means within 13 minutes he only proposed an increase in the basic income, which was only an accounting trick by accelerating the already scheduled increases, only €100, but he completely refused to tackle tax evasion, to tax the wealthy corporations or the online giants. He refused to reinstate the wealth tax, and he was basically saying, "I'm going to give you crumbles, but I'm going to continue with this program that I came up with."
The protesters geared up in high-vis yellow vests, which all French drivers must keep in their vehicles in case of an emergency. The vests have not only become a symbol of the protests, but also a police target.
Des mineurs, des enfants à genoux, les mains sur la tête, dignes d'une position coloniale. Comment est-ce que on traitait voilà, des prisonniers politiques ou des terroristes, et ces images ont fait le tour du monde, ont choqué le monde entier. Voilà, je pense qu'aujourd'hui Emmanuel Macron est dans cette réponse sécuritaire et cette réponse disproportionnée face à des mouvements étudiants, face à des mouvements populaires.
France is no longer a country of human rights. It may be the cradle of the Declaration of Human Rights, but it is not. And what's shocking to me as a French citizen is that we can have Emmanuel Macron sending the police against women and children in the street and sending explosive grenades into gatherings on French streets, and then look away and say, whatever other country across Africa or Asia or the Middle East, well, you should be a country of human rights. I don't think any country should accept it.
Although it is unclear where the Yellow Vest movement stems from, politicians and activists from all sides of the political spectrum are attempting to claim ownership. Having said that,
tout le pays qui supporte les Gilets jaunes, on est dans un mouvement massif où plus de 85% de la population soutient ce mouvement des Gilets jaunes. Les jeunes soutiennent ce mouvement et en font partie et contribuent largement.
So it's very unclear what will become of the Yellow Vest after the movement stops, and if it will actually benefit to one party or the other. Clearly, the party that won't benefit from the Yellow Vest will be the République En Marche, the party from Emmanuel Macron. But all of the protest opposition parties still try to manage and get some voices from the Yellow Vests.
Inspired by the Yellow Vest movement, protests are springing up in various parts of Europe. So what's next?
We also have to remember that the policies being applied by Emmanuel Macron are the same ones being applied throughout Europe. Dogmatic austerity-based economics on the belief, the fantasies that was good for the rich is going to actually trickle down to workers. It did not work in the US, it worked nowhere. So you have the combination of austerity measures based on tax cuts for the rich and social benefits cuts for the everyday workers. And that becomes unsustainable as the costs of living are increasing.
people, and not only the people wearing yellow vests, also the elites, people meeting in Davos, every year actually know that there is a big problem that we have all together, is the rise of inequalities that has never been so fierce. We create value, we create money, but it only benefits to the 1%. And this is critical now because we're getting to economies like France, which is a rich country, which is a rich nation, where the riots, the civil war is kind of raging on. And if we want to stop this, we have to find a common solution about tax justice. It has to be global, about ecological also impact. It has to be global, and about a global governance where actually we share the wealth. And so far, we haven't been good at it.
There is wide sympathy towards this movement. Now it has to become a political force, or at least to gain political leverage to get concessions from respective governments. But with Emmanuel Macron saying, no, this is out of the question, and the European Commission continuing to push this austerity-based economics, chances are, even if this movement fails, another one will pick it up.